If you've been seeing headlines about the Trump administration targeting naturalized citizens, about citizenship being taken away after years or even decades, and you're feeling worried, confused, maybe even scared about what this means for you or your family, I want you to know something. You're not alone, and you're in the right place. Today, we're going to separate the facts from the fear, explain exactly what's happening with denaturalization in the United States, what it really means for naturalized citizens, and most importantly, what you need to know to protect yourself. Stay with me, because understanding the truth is your most powerful tool right now. Let's start with what's actually happening. In December 2025, news reports revealed that the Trump administration has issued internal guidance to United States Citizenship and Immigration Services field offices, requesting them to supply between 100 and 200 denaturalization cases per month during fiscal year 2026. To understand how significant this is, let me give you some context. Between 1990 and 2017, an average of only 11 denaturalization cases were opened per year in the entire United States. That's 11 cases per year for the entire country. During President Trump's first term from 2017 to 2021, that number increased to approximately 25 cases per year. During the Biden administration, it averaged 16 cases per year. Now, under this new guidance, the administration is requesting up to 200 cases per month, which would be approximately 2,400 cases per year. That's a dramatic increase from historical numbers. Before we go any further, I need you to understand something critically important. This guidance does not mean your citizenship has changed overnight. This guidance does not mean naturalized citizens are suddenly at risk of having their citizenship automatically taken away. Immigration law has not changed. The legal standards for denaturalization have not changed. What has changed is an enforcement priority and a target number for cases to be investigated. This is an internal government goal, not a new law passed by Congress. Now let me explain what denaturalization actually is and how it works under United States law, because understanding the legal process is essential. Denaturalization is the legal process through which the United States government can revoke citizenship that was obtained through naturalization. This is not about people born in the United States. This specifically applies to individuals who became citizens through the naturalization process. Under federal law, specifically Section 340 of the Immigration and Nationality Act, the government has the authority to revoke citizenship, but only under very specific circumstances. The government can pursue denaturalization only if citizenship was obtained illegally, through concealment of material facts, or through willful misrepresentation during the naturalization process. Here's what I really need you to understand. The government cannot take away your citizenship through an administrative process. They cannot send you a letter saying your citizenship is revoked. They cannot make this decision in an office. Denaturalization can only happen through federal court. The United States Attorney's Office must file a lawsuit in federal district court, and a federal judge must make the decision after hearing evidence from both sides. You have the right to defend yourself. You have the right to present evidence. You have the right to challenge the government's case. This is a full legal proceeding with due process protections guaranteed by the Constitution. The burden of proof that the government must meet is very high. In civil denaturalization cases, which are the most common type, the government must prove its case by clear, convincing, and unequivocal evidence that does not leave the issue in doubt. That is a significantly higher standard than regular civil cases. The government cannot simply present some evidence and win. They must prove their case to a very high degree of certainty. In criminal denaturalization cases, which are less common, the government must prove its case beyond a reasonable doubt, which is the highest standard of proof in the American legal system. There's an important Supreme Court case from 2017 that every naturalized citizen should know about. In Maslenjak versus United States, The Supreme Court ruled unanimously that if someone made a false statement during the citizenship process, that false statement must have actually played a role in them obtaining citizenship in order to justify denaturalization. The Supreme Court specifically said that small omissions and minor lies that did not influence the decision to grant citizenship do not justify taking away someone's citizenship. This is a critical legal protection established by the highest court in the United States. Now, let's talk about who this new enforcement priority is targeting. According to the guidance and statements from United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, they are focusing on individuals who obtained citizenship through fraud, particularly those who lied or misrepresented themselves during the naturalization process. The categories that have been historically prioritized include individuals who pose national security threats, people involved in terrorism or espionage, individuals who committed war crimes or human rights violations, members of gangs or transnational criminal organizations, people who failed to disclose serious criminal history during the naturalization process, and individuals involved in various types of fraud. A June 2025 memo from the Department of Justice also made denaturalization one of the administration's top 5 immigration enforcement priorities. However, and this is extremely important, immigration advocates, former government officials, and legal experts have raised serious concerns about this new policy. Former United States Citizenship and Immigration Services official Sarah Pierce stated that requiring monthly quotas that are 10 times higher than the total annual number of denaturalizations in recent years turns a serious and rare tool into a blunt instrument and fuels unnecessary fear and uncertainty for millions of naturalized Americans. Aaron Reichlin-Melnick from the American Immigration Council called setting a quota for denaturalization vicious and cruel and designed to send a message of fear. He also pointed out that each case must be proved in front of a federal judge and that the Department of Justice is already stretched very thin in terms of resources. Let me address the practical reality here. Even though the administration has set a target of up to 200 cases per month, actually achieving that number will be extremely challenging. Each denaturalization case requires significant investigation, legal preparation, court filings, evidence gathering, witness testimony, and a full trial before a federal judge. Former Department of Homeland Security official Morgan Bailey told reporters it would be virtually impossible for officials to process the number of cases that the new guidance demands. The Department of Justice would need massive resources, many more attorneys, and significant time to pursue cases at this scale. Historical data shows that even with increased enforcement efforts, the government has been able to file only dozens of cases per year, not hundreds per month. Now, let's talk about what this really means for the approximately 24 to 26 million naturalized citizens living in the United States today. If you obtained your citizenship honestly, if you answered all questions on your naturalization application truthfully and completely, if you disclosed any criminal history or other required information accurately, then the likelihood that you would face denaturalization is extremely low. The vast majority of naturalized citizens who went through the process legitimately have nothing to fear from this policy. You are United States citizens with all the rights and protections that citizenship provides under the Constitution. However, let me address some rumors and misinformation that have been spreading on social media and in immigrant communities, because clearing up these false claims is important. Rumor number 1. The government is going to automatically review every naturalized citizen's file and start mass denaturalization proceedings. This is not accurate. While the government may increase scrutiny of certain cases, they do not have the resources or legal authority to simply review and revoke citizenship for millions of people. Each case requires individual investigation, evidence of fraud or illegal procurement, and a successful prosecution in federal court. Rumor number 2. If you travel outside the United States as a naturalized citizen, they might not let you back in or might detain you at the airport. This is false. If you are a United States citizen with a valid United States passport, you have the constitutional right to enter the United States. Customs and Border Protection cannot deny entry to a United States citizen. While some naturalized citizens have reported increased questioning at ports of entry, being a naturalized citizen does not make you vulnerable to being denied entry to your own country. Rumor number 3. All naturalized citizens from certain countries are being targeted. While it's true that the administration has implemented travel restrictions affecting some countries and that enforcement actions have impacted certain communities more than others, denaturalization cases must be based on individual evidence of fraud or illegal procurement during the naturalization process, not simply on a person's country of origin. The government cannot denaturalize someone solely because of their nationality or ethnicity. That would violate the Constitution. Rumor number 4. If your citizenship is revoked, your children automatically lose their citizenship too. This is generally not true. Children who obtained citizenship through a parent's naturalization do not automatically lose their citizenship if the parent is denaturalized, unless the parent's denaturalization was based on fraud and certain other specific conditions are met. Children born in the United States are United States citizens by birthright, and that cannot be taken away regardless of what happens to their parents' immigration status. Now let me give you practical guidance on what you should actually do with this information. First, if you are a naturalized citizen who obtained citizenship honestly and lawfully, continue living your life as a United States citizen. Exercise your rights, vote, travel, pursue opportunities. Your citizenship provides you with constitutional protections that are not easily taken away. Do not let fear prevent you from exercising the rights you worked so hard to obtain. Second, if you have any concerns about your specific situation, if there was anything on your naturalization application that you're worried about, if you're not sure whether something you disclosed or didn't disclose could be an issue, consult with a qualified immigration attorney. Not someone on social media, not your friend who thinks they know the law. A licensed immigration attorney who is qualified to practice in the United States and who can review your specific case confidentially. Many immigration attorneys offer initial consultations where they can assess whether you have any reason to be concerned. Third, if you are ever contacted by any government agency about your citizenship, do not try to handle it alone. Do not answer questions without legal representation. Immediately contact an immigration attorney. You have the right to legal representation in denaturalization proceedings. While civil denaturalization proceedings do not provide a right to a court-appointed attorney like criminal cases do, you have the right to hire your own attorney, and this is something you should absolutely do if you are contacted about your citizenship. Fourth, keep copies of all documents related to your naturalization. Keep your naturalization certificate in a safe place. Keep copies of your application, any supporting documents you submitted, records of your interview. If you are ever questioned about your citizenship, having complete and accurate records helps you. Do not destroy or hide documents. Having documentation of an honest application process protects you. Fifth, be very careful about immigration scams. When there is fear in immigrant communities, scammers take advantage of that fear. Be extremely skeptical of anyone who contacts you claiming to be from the government and asking for money. Anyone who says they can guarantee your citizenship is safe for a fee. Anyone who pressures you to pay for services immediately. If you receive any official communication from United States Citizenship and Immigration Services or the Department of Justice, verify it independently by calling official government numbers listed on official government websites before responding or paying anything. Now let me talk specifically to lawful permanent residents who are eligible for citizenship but haven't applied yet. You might be thinking that with all this news about denaturalization, maybe it's safer to stay as a permanent resident instead of applying for citizenship. I want to encourage you to think carefully about this. United States citizenship provides significantly stronger protections than permanent residence. Permanent residents can be placed in removal proceedings and deported for certain violations of immigration law or criminal convictions. United States citizens cannot be deported. While denaturalization is possible, it requires the government to prove its case in federal court with a high burden of proof, and it can only be based on fraud or illegal procurement during the naturalization process itself. If you are eligible for citizenship, consider moving forward with your application. Work with a qualified immigration attorney to ensure your application is completed accurately and completely. Make sure you answer every question truthfully. Make sure you disclose all required information. The requirements for naturalization have not changed. The law has not changed. The process has not changed. What you've heard about denaturalization enforcement should not prevent you from pursuing citizenship if you're eligible. In fact, obtaining citizenship remains one of the strongest forms of immigration status and protection available in the United States. It's also important to understand the broader context of what's happening with immigration enforcement in the United States right now. The denaturalization guidance is part of a much larger immigration enforcement strategy that includes increased funding for immigration and customs enforcement and customs and border protection, expanded detention capacity, increased workplace enforcement, travel restrictions on certain countries, termination of temporary protected status for hundreds of thousands of people from Haiti, Venezuela, and Afghanistan, and increased scrutiny of various categories of legal immigration. According to recent reports, Congress has provided $170 billion in additional funding for immigration enforcement through September 2029, which is a massive increase over the approximately $19 billion annual budget these agencies previously had. The administration has stated that these enforcement actions are necessary to restore integrity to the immigration system and protect national security. However, public opinion polls show that support for these enforcement actions has declined. President Trump's approval rating on immigration policy dropped from 50% in March 2025 to 41% in mid-December 2025, even though immigration had been his strongest issue politically. Rising public unease has focused on aggressive enforcement tactics, including masked federal agents conducting raids in residential neighborhoods, cases of United States citizens being detained by immigration enforcement, and the use of tactics like tear gas in communities. What does all this mean for you as someone watching this video? It means that the immigration landscape in the United States is changing rapidly. It means that enforcement priorities are shifting. It means that both documented and undocumented immigrants are facing increased scrutiny and enforcement actions. But it also means that understanding your rights, knowing the law, and having accurate information is more important than ever. Let me be very clear about something. The information I'm providing in this video is general educational information. It is not personalized legal advice for your specific situation. Every immigration case is unique. Every person's history, circumstances, and concerns are different. If you have specific questions or concerns about your immigration status, your citizenship, or your family's situation, you must consult with a qualified immigration attorney who can review your individual case and provide advice tailored to your circumstances. Where should you get reliable information about immigration law and policy? First, always check official government websites. For United States immigration information, go to uscis.gov, which is the official website of United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. For information about immigration enforcement, you can check ice.gov for immigration and customs enforcement. For information about the Department of Justice and denaturalization cases, check justice.gov. These are the official sources. Be very skeptical of information you see on social media. Just because something is shared thousands of times does not make it true. Verify information with official sources before believing it or acting on it. Second, if you need legal help, look for qualified immigration attorneys. You can search for attorneys who are members of the American Immigration Lawyers Association, which is the professional association for immigration attorneys in the United States. You can check their credentials, verify they are actually licensed to practice law, and read reviews from other clients. Be very careful about immigration consultants or notarios who are not licensed attorneys. In most states, only licensed attorneys can provide legal advice and represent you in immigration proceedings. Third, there are nonprofit organizations that provide immigration legal services, especially for people who cannot afford private attorneys. Organizations like Catholic Charities, Lutheran Immigration and Refugee Service, the International Rescue Committee, and many local immigrant rights organizations offer legal services or can refer you to qualified attorneys. Don't be afraid to ask for help if you need it. I also want to take a moment to acknowledge the emotional impact of all this news. If you're a naturalized citizen or working towards citizenship, hearing about denaturalization quotas and enforcement priorities can be deeply frightening. It can make you feel like your status is fragile, like years of hard work could be taken away, like you're not truly safe, even after becoming a citizen. These feelings are valid. The immigrant experience is often filled with uncertainty and anxiety. But I want you to remember something important. United States citizenship is a fundamental constitutional right that has been repeatedly protected by the Supreme Court. The court has stated that citizenship is too precious and fundamental to democracy for the government to take away on a whim. For the millions of naturalized citizens who became citizens honestly, who are living law-abiding lives, who are raising families, contributing to communities, working hard, and building their futures, this enforcement priority should not change your daily life. You are American citizens. You have the right to vote, to travel, to work, to live freely. Continue to exercise those rights. Do not let fear control your life or prevent you from living fully as the American citizen you worked so hard to become. At the same time, it's important to stay informed and be aware of what's happening. Follow reliable news sources. Check official government websites for updates. If proposed policies or new regulations are announced, take time to understand what they actually say rather than reacting to headlines. Immigration law and policy are complex and often politicized. What sounds dramatic in a headline may be less significant when you understand the details. What sounds minor in a press release may have major implications when you understand how it will be implemented. This is why getting information from multiple reliable sources and consulting with qualified legal professionals is so important. One final point I want to make. Enforcement priorities and policies can change with different administrations. What is being prioritized today may not be prioritized in 2 years or 4 years. Elections matter. Local elections, state elections, and federal elections all impact immigration policy and enforcement. If you are a United States citizen, one of the most important rights you have is the right to vote. Your voice matters. Your vote matters. Participate in democracy. That's one of the most valuable aspects of citizenship. Before we finish, let me summarize the most important things you need to remember from this video. Number 1. The Trump administration has set an internal goal of pursuing up to 200 denaturalization cases per month in fiscal year 2026, which is a significant increase from historical numbers. Number 2. This is an enforcement priority and internal target, not a new law. The legal standards for denaturalization have not changed. Number 3. Denaturalization can only happen through federal court, where the government must prove its case by clear, convincing, and unequivocal evidence. You have the right to defend yourself with legal representation. Number 4. If you obtained citizenship honestly and answered all questions truthfully during your naturalization process, the likelihood you would face denaturalization is extremely low. Number 5. If you have any concerns about your specific situation, consult with a qualified immigration attorney. Number 6. Do not believe rumors on social media. Always verify information with official government sources. Number 7. Citizenship remains one of the strongest forms of immigration status and protection in the United States. If you're eligible, consider pursuing citizenship with the help of a qualified attorney. Immigration policy will continue to evolve. Enforcement priorities will continue to change. That's why staying informed with accurate information from reliable sources is so important. Don't let fear drive your decisions. Don't let rumors control your actions. Seek facts. Consult professionals. Make informed choices about your future and your family's future. If this video helped you understand what's really happening with denaturalization and the immigration crackdown, I want to ask you to do several things. First, please subscribe to Global Immigration Updates. We are committed to providing you with accurate, clear, reliable information about immigration policies and changes that affect your life. We cut through the headlines and the political rhetoric to give you the facts you need to make informed decisions. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you're immediately notified when we post new videos with important updates. Second, give this video a like. It helps our channel reach more people who need accurate immigration information. The more likes and engagement this video gets, the more people YouTube will show it to, and the more families we can help with reliable facts instead of fear and rumors. Third, share this video with your family, your friends, your community members who might be worried or confused about what's happening with immigration enforcement and denaturalization. Help us spread accurate information instead of misinformation. Share it on WhatsApp, on Facebook, on whatever platforms your community uses to communicate. Accurate information can reduce fear and help people make better decisions. Fourth, leave a comment below. Tell us what questions you have. What topics would you like us to cover next? What immigration issues are you concerned about? Are there specific policies or changes you want us to explain? Your comments help us understand what information our community needs most, and we read every single comment to help us create content that addresses your real concerns and questions. Remember, you are not alone in navigating these complex immigration issues. There are millions of immigrants, naturalized citizens, permanent residents, and families facing the same uncertainties and concerns. We are here to provide you with the accurate information and clear explanations you need. Knowledge is power. Understanding your rights and the actual facts about immigration law helps you protect yourself and your family. Thank you for watching Global Immigration Updates. Stay informed, stay protected, know your rights, and we will see you in the next video with more important immigration updates and information.